that the UK government, through a media communication, and I'm saying media communication, dated 30th April 2024, reportedly imposed some sanctions on myself and two former ministers. The ministers who were in court, purportedly on allegation of corruption, and the sanction led to travel ban and freeze of assets. I am told I have so many assets in UK and a lot of accounts in UK. Unfortunately, I've only been in UK once. I don't even have a postcard in UK. Honorable members, these sanctions are politically motivated. The bill that you passed in this house, we are carrying a cross, I am carrying a cross for the 48 million Ugandans. The LGBTQ Act, the Anti-Homosexuality Act, the law, is what is causing all this. This may not be the only banner. Another one will come. In the pretext of corruption, theft, what, all those kind of things will come. But we serve a living God. We serve a living God, and we will always not allow bomb shafters in Uganda. If they want to do, let them do in their bedrooms, not in public. The law is there, it will be implemented. Let whoever feels the heart, let them go ahead. Me, I don't need to go in. I have said I have a passport, permanent passport, to Bukedea and to Buyende. I don't need a visa. So, honorable members, you need to be very firm and fight for your people. Just imagine it is your kid who is being sodomized tomorrow. But I am telling you, those sanctions, I have had an interaction, and we've gotten to know all what the sanctions are about, which the Minister of Foreign Affairs is here, and at an appropriate time, the head of state will also respond to it, because that is an indictment to Parliament of Uganda. You did pass the law yourselves. Me, I didn't even vote. I chaired and you voted. So, I am not worried. And if they feel I have property, go and freeze them and see if I will complain. Even a postcard you can. I would like to categorically tell you that international backlash will continue. But one thing we need to do is to have respect for each other, respect for people's values, the traditions, the cultures of countries. We're a sovereign country. And those who are writing reports are writing reports because they want to do accountability. They want to do accountability. I have not said no. I have not said it. She did not. I will one day allow you people to start boxing. Honorable members, we need to safeguard the sanctity of this house, of this country. If we cannot do that, then we will not be doing what is expected of us. And Whatever we are doing for the 48 million Ugandans out there. And in a special note, I really want to thank Parliament of Uganda for passing that law. I want to thank the religious leaders. I want to thank judiciary for upholding the decision. I want to thank the president for assenting to that law. That shows you how much he values the family values. And I want to thank all the Ugandans. Honorable members, there is an outcry, much as we passed the law on fisheries. But the people to an Honorable Nanduta in court, but the principle of presumption of innocence still stands. Yes.
That the Minister for Foreign Affairs will be making a statement. I really think it's important because this is a matter that really touches on our diplomatic relations. And for purposes of just avoiding uncoordinated troop movements, it will be important that government states its position early enough to guide the debate and discussion. Otherwise, there is a very big likelihood of creating a diplomatic imbroglio arising out of the statements that we may make. Right, Honourable Speaker, for me, at the risk of anticipating what is in the statement, at the risk, the UK has a right to sanction anybody. It's really their right. And I don't think anybody should be concerned or bothered. Let them sanction whoever they want. It is really their sovereign right. But what should also happen is that they should respect the sovereign right of other countries. Because you see, you run a risk. You run a risk. I am on procedure. You run a risk, right, Honourable Speaker. We run a risk of undermining each other. So, right, Honourable Speaker, the procedural issue I raise is whether it is not procedurally right for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to first adumbrate the position of government before this matter is debated.
Thank you.
In your communication, and you did say that for you don't care if they want to freeze, you don't even have a postcard, they can go ahead. If, Madam Speaker, that is your conclusion, is there, and this is the procedural issue, is there a need for government to issue a statement when one of the persons sanctioned has said she does not care, this matter is not serious? So is there a need for government to again issue a statement if you have closed the matter in that fashion?
I'm not an Anita. Me, I can go back and be in my village. Honourable Minister, no, let's first hear from the Honourable Minister.
Make a statement to the House and to public. The Republic of Uganda is a stable democracy that enjoys cordial relations with the vast majority of states in the family of nations. Our political landscape since 1996 has continued to evolve in peace and stability, bolstered by faith of its people as a hallmark of the NRM government. Our standing in the region and internationally has reflected the dividends of this peace and stability. the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda reflects the legitimate voice and aspirations of the Ugandan people. It's with surprise that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uganda learned of a statement issued on the official website of United Kingdom government on 30th April 2024, announcing the imposition of sanctions on open quotes, Ugandan politicians charged with corruption, close quotes. The case referred to under the UK's global anti-corruption sanctions regime concerning two former ministers, the Honourable Goretti Kitutu and the Honourable Agnes Nandutu, represents the first time that this is applied with respect to Uganda. It glosses over the fact that the two cases mentioned had been uncovered by government's own investigative agencies and are currently being handled under Ugandan courts of law. The two on the charge sheet therefore remain under presumption of innocence until proven guilty. The third person mentioned in the sanctions regime is the Right Honourable Anita Mong, who is none other than the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, who has not been charged by Directorate of Public Prosecution in the above mentioned cases. We therefore seek to find rationale for actions taken by the British government in this sanctions designation. The Minister of Foreign Affairs looks forward to engaging with the British High Commission in Uganda and indeed Government of the United Kingdom, with whom we maintain cordial relations on this matter, while mindful that sovereignty remains a cardinal principle in the bilateral relations between the two governments and nations. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
That is not based on any ground, violates the tradition, the setting up of the institution, and it borders on the UK government violating the principle and the rules of engagement. And we, as citizens of Uganda, and who contribute to that international organization, we need to express our displeasure. We cannot all allow government to express displeasure because the taxpayers of this country contribute to that institution. And you now, you are not only the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, you are the head of the presiding officers and the Speakers' Conference. And that position to wish all the members of the Commonwealth accorded you because of your integrity, your sincerity, and the service you have rendered to this institution. And therefore, these sanctions questions the participation, and all Commonwealth parliaments need to raise their voice because it brings double standard of the UK government and our participation. Whereas we receive development support, but most of this development support alone to which the taxpayers of Uganda pay, this needs to be put on record. Therefore, Madam Speaker, we request the Minister of Foreign Affairs to engage the government of UK and other Commonwealth members to express our displeasure. If other countries, it wasn't that President Museveni sometimes is very diplomatic, would even consider withdrawing our participation in the Commonwealth Speakers Conference and institution. Because as of now, you coordinate the entire operation. How can they use, in the UK, the Conservative government do not believe in homosexuality and lesbianism. In the US, the Republicans don't believe in it. So this double standard must be rejected, and we need to communicate to the people of this country and to the world. I therefore propose that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, without wasting much time, need to engage at more high level and to express our displeasure at the Parliament of Uganda. I beg to.
Thank you.
That Parliament of Uganda is a member of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and Madam Speaker is the President of the branch. For that matter, it's very important.
There's an order association in Uganda. I am also the president, the speaker, the chairperson of the speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth parliaments, which is comprised of 72 countries. When we invited our friends to come for CISPOC, They did not come, and because of the law, and they wrote to us that they were not coming here because of that law, unless we were ready to withdraw, and which was okay with us. We did not miss anybody, and I want the Arab world, all of them came. All of them came. And I want to thank you for the work you did when you went to the Arab world. Honorable Minister, you need a more comprehensive statement. A comprehensive statement. You get it, eh? On this. You will find that some of these people are conflicted. The ones who are signing these documents are conflicted. And you know it. It's not a secret. They are conflicted. You know me, I'm not a diplomat, where you may be, but you know it. Yes, Papa.
She's the president of the branch. She's the representative of this parliament in every CPA activities, at least related to the CPA Parliamentary Association. And CPA Parliamentary Association, we are signatories to the Commonwealth Charter. Interestingly, where we all the member states made a commitment to development of freedom, development of democracy and all that. And we made a commitment. And I believe the decision of the anti-homosexuality bill was out of a democratic beliefs of our country and the parliament as such. It was not an individual decision. So I think it's in bad faith, and that's why I was supporting the Right Honourable Speaker, that the Minister brings a statement, and then we look at how best we can address this. Because going forward, for example, we have an annual general meeting in August, where she's supposed to be representing this parliament. We have another engagement in November, CPA, CPC, in Sydney, where she's supposed to represent this parliament. So how is she going to be participating with nations that do not believe in our democracy, or that are against the principles of the charter that we all subscribe to? So I think it's in bad faith, and I believe that it's important that the minister brings a statement and we find solutions on how best we can move with countries that are actually breaking the charters that they made commitments to. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The African Interparliamentary Conference on Family Values and Sovereignty that is sitting in Entebbe, and I'm sure they are closing today. But I want to assure you, over the 20 countries that attended are very proud of Uganda in terms of legislation on the anti-homosexuality law. I'm a member of the Pan-African Parliament, and most of the African countries are very proud of Uganda about the case of anti-homosexuality law. So I want all of you to move with your heads high over the decision you took, because the rest of Africa is very proud of us about what we did. Right Honourable Speaker, having said that, we are also doing very badly as a nation on matters to do with the corruption. As a nation, and we all know that the way we are handling our corruption cases cannot be celebrated. This issue of Mabati was not well disposed of. It just ended in corridors, and it ended like that. Ugandans don't know who was found guilty and who was not found guilty. And it is just there lingering. And I really want to think, that's why these that wanted to get on the speaker wanted to use that. Had it been disposed of properly, probably it wouldn't have been an issue. I keep wondering why the Mabati group was eager. I'll give you information. The Mabati group was bigger. Why did they pick only the speaker and the two? Why not the rest of the group? And the Prime Minister, there are so many ministers here who are involved. Yeah, even my friend here, Msas, was part of those. So I'm just wondering why only the speaker and the other two? So if the matter was properly disposed of, probably we would be in a better situation to debate this. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members,
where she said they had investigated this matter, and according to them, the people they took to court are those they found with incriminating evidence. And they said the others, the cases, the files had been closed. That's what the DPP actually said.
honorable members, if the Karamojong team was here, they would bear me witness. When the issue came up on the Mabati, I said, I hope the Mabati that was put at my gate, because it was dropped at my gate. The gate of my school was not part of Karamoja Mabati. And I said, if they were, I will immediately return. So when the investigation went on, I said, give the schools, government schools, give the government schools the Mabati. I came back after finding out that that was the Mabati and refunded. I was the first person, without anybody saying it, and refunded the iron sheets and said, have your iron sheets, I don't need them. Because if they are meant for Karamoja, they are meant for Karamoja, not for my place. And I've never been to any court of corruption. And who says it is only Karamoja that would need Mabati? Even if they went to Teso, even if they went to Lamu, even if they went to where. But honorable members, this is a test on us. A test on us, which we must prove. Ekudo, Dakas.
About the sanctions that were imposed on the head of this very institution, the Right Honorable Speaker, Anita Mo, and two other former ministers, Honorable Chitutu and Honorable Agnes Nandutu. Right Honorable Speaker, I was in this house when we passed that anti-homosexuality law, and I can assure you, we as Parliament, we stand together on issues of morality of this country. There is no doubt about that. And I think each and every member of the House, you can't say it is the Speaker, it is so, it was a collective effort of the entire House. So if there is such an indictment, it's an indictment on the rest of, on all of us. That is important. And to that extent, I want us to stand firm. We shall get to know where it ends. We stand by you, the Right Honorable Speaker, in as far as enacting of that law is concerned, if that is the casus belli of all this that is unfolding. But I would hasten also to add, Right Honorable Speaker and members, that for us to sit by, there is a lot of ramifications and what our relationship with the Commonwealth shall be. The Speaker is the head. There are those engagements on an annual basis. She's the chair of the Speakers and presiding officers. So I think
Even those in UK, I saw the Deputy Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Mitchell. He ought to know the ramifications and the implications of sanctioning a speaker of a country. She is the head of the third arm of government. So there must be foreign affairs and government. You must tell us, how do we as a country proceed from here? What are our bilateral arrangements? What is the fate of our development cooperation that we share with the UK and the Commonwealth? Can we withdraw from the UK, from the Commonwealth? And I think the answer is no. Then what is the way forward? Because the head of the third arm, who represents us who are seated here, cannot go to the Commonwealth. In other words, we are decapitated. We are decapitated, we must state it. We must take the implications. How are we going to engage with the other 56 other countries under the umbrella of the Commonwealth? So it's a question that we must answer, and government must answer that. It was peculiar that the president even chose to keep quiet about it the other day at the Labour Day celebrations. Because it isn't as easy as it comes. It isn't, honorable members. There is some weight on it. And I don't want to think that UK was not aware of the backlash, of the fallout in all this. And to me, Right Honourable Speaker, it yet presents another opportunity on how, as a country,
Minister, I hope you're taking notes of what Sage is raising.
On how the country is proceeding on the question of corruption. To have your speaker sanctioned on account of larceny is such a grave matter. What is the rest of the country now? Probably I think they are now touching on the speaker to tell you, to tell us as a country, how we are proceeding. A speaker of an institution, the third arm. So I think, Right Honourable Speaker, when issues of corruption are raised, why don't we get the opportunity to discuss them and for government to handle the same to its full conclusion? This is the problem. We are stuck, we cannot even present our voices to be heard well because the issue of the iron sheets was greatly mismanaged. It was greatly mismanaged. The Rugorobis, the Chitutu, the Nandutus were those arraigned before court. And to me, having cabinet ministers and ministers attending court, then in the afternoon they go to attend cabinet. What indicators are we giving to the international community? So for me, on the question of homosexuality, I want us to desegregate it. That one we all stand together. But on the question of corruption, honourable members, I beg your indulgence, that we must tackle it. We can't let it go. The other day we had an opportunity to look at ourselves as parliament. When the issue of the handshake, the service awards came, Right Honourable Speaker, have never given us the opportunity to debate it. Despite my constant standing here, can we have a look at ourselves? Or must we hide ourselves now in the same cloak? For me, I'm not part of that. If the UK is sanctioning and targeting the corrupt of this country, it's because we as a country have failed. Some ministers said that the anarchists came through their windows to their compounds and they were let scot-free. The unfortunate ones, the three, were arraigned before court and others are continuing to occupy the front bench. And the president made a very simple promise: I'm going to follow them, I'm going to follow them. Where is the following we were talking about? So to me, honourable members, Right Honourable Speaker, you better seize the opportunity. Seize the opportunity and say no to corruption. Lead the way so that as a country we can stand by you. But when this institution is full of loopholes, the allegations of corruption, the service awards are bound, and we cannot debate them, we cannot discuss them. What should we do? It is only seeming that now the foreign countries are the ones doing the job we are supposed to do. So I don't want members to hide about sovereignty of the country.
They cannot search.
Yes.
Cannot, we're a sovereign country. I mean, UK cannot come and run our country. They cannot.
Thanks for the guidance, Right Honourable Speaker.
We are going to handle the issue of the corruption, that is okay. Perceived corruption. You know, somebody should be proved that, like the ministers who are in the court. There were so many people about how many, Honorable Board, do you want to say something?
Before you can come up, Speaker, let us start with our
World Press Freedom Day, a very important day on which we remind government to protect the rights of journalists as they operate. Sadly, though, many times they face a lot of brutality from the state, which should be protecting them as they do their work. Our hope is that we can get commitment from government on this particular issue, but also to call upon the employers of these journalists, because as the state brutalizes them, their employers in one way or another ill-treat some of them. Poor pay and all of these issues that need to be addressed. So hopefully this day is a good reminder to all the stakeholders to treat journalists with respect and to empower them as they execute their mandate. Right Honourable Speaker, the issue of sanctions. In your communication, Right Honourable Speaker, you said
48 million Ugandans there. And secondly, I don't get handouts from those countries. There is an order.
I don't know why someone wants to put the speaker on order. Right Honourable Speaker, no one has said you get handouts from these countries.
Order.
We are talking about...
Order, Madam Speaker. Order.
Right Honourable Speaker, we are talking about the sanctions, which indicated corruption, Mabati theft, different things. That which you're saying is a different matter. I don't know if somebody is accusing you of getting handouts from these countries. That has not come up, and that's not the issue. For me, my concern is, if you're saying you only bothered about a visa to Vocadia, then you shouldn't be consumed by this issue, Right Honourable Speaker. You shouldn't be, because you also seem to be rallying us to join you in being angry over this matter. Because your answer is Vocadia, Right Honourable Speaker.
Leader of opposition.
But finally, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to implore government.
Switch on.
Thank you. I want to implore government, Right Honourable Speaker. Government, do not wait for foreign countries to sanction individuals, whether it be involved in Mabati theft, in corruption and so on. Take action. Why do you wait for that? And then you begin to complain. When you're going to beg for aid, you don't complain. When they say now that we give you aid, that aid
there is an order from Ogwang.
He's asking for clarification. I'll get it shortly.
Honourable members.
Don't wait. Government, take action against corruption.
Leader of opposition. Leader of opposition. Leader of opposition. Okay.
First of all, I would like to thank the leader of opposition for the submission he's making, Right Honourable. The clarification I want to seek from LOP is that for purpose of the Speaker, is there any record by any competent court of law in Uganda that she has been involved in any corruption matter? Number two, is there, as far as we are all aware, that they took former colleagues who are our colleague members of parliament that before courts of law? Have the case been adjudicated and confirmed that they are guilty? So if we are talking about the rule of law, was it in order for that respectable country to impose sanctions on such individuals?
And honourable is important. He's talking about something important. But what I'm also telling LOP, that LOP, don't even deceive yourself that I am hurt. Me, the Anita I know, me, to be hurt over those sanctions, forget.
That's okay, right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Peter Ogwang was seeking a bit because I'm a lawyer. Article 28(3)(a) of our country's constitution talks about presumption of innocence. That's our constitution. Now, the way sanctions operate, and I don't know whether we should be discussing sanctions issued by a country which has the prerogative to issue their own sanctions. Sanctions are not subject. I was clarifying. Sanctions are not subject of your local jurisprudence here. It's a diplomatic tool.
There's a procedure matter. Nathan, we have not started a comprehensive response on the action that you've taken on this, and I don't want anybody to think I am bothered of whatever is happening, but I am doing this for anything on me touches everybody in this house. I am the leader of this house. So when I say, some of you have property like, I have not said research. I have not said stop putting sage in my mouth. I have not said. I am saying some people have. You lip sage. I am saying there are people who get their earnings, who sustain their livings in Uganda, who do accountability, using people's names, using the names of their knitters so that they account for we are doing work in the country. But that said and done, I want a comprehensive report from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and I want actions that you've taken. Honorable Obua, Government Chief Whip, I had talked about the fisheries. About the fisheries. No, I have already ruled. Check the rules. I've already ruled. No, I have already ruled. Honorable, can I hear about the fisheries? Somebody who was killed, people who are being killed in the fisheries areas. Somebody was killed in Ingo, another one was killed
the service awards, and you said yes, we are going to discuss it.
We'll do it.
And I had said, probably can we use this opportunity to know so that we prepare ourselves over the same? Yes, because in a way it shows that we are now committed to fighting corruption.
There's a procedure matter here.
Yes.
I have equally seen.
Nathan, we have not started on the taxes. We are talking about you don't have a leg. Chairman of BCU. Taxes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I have equally seen on social media, including in Amolata district, where one resident was reportedly shot dead by a member of the Fisheries Protection Unit, among others. May I request, Right Honorable Speaker, that you give the Minister in charge of Fisheries an opportunity to come and present a comprehensive statement covering all the fishing communities and what is transpiring within the country generally, but also with specific regard to the incidences that we have read and seen in the media. May I request for that time for the Minister to come and brief the House.
As the Minister comes,